In this episode, we sit down with James Tindale, best known for being on Geordie Shore. We speak about how he got approached for being on the programme at just 19 years old, the highs and lows of reality TV, and also some of the more recent struggles and hard times, but how that shaped the man that he's become today and fueled the life that he has. This episode is not to be missed. I hope you enjoy it. This episode of the Tom's Talks podcast is proudly sponsored by Unthin, the hair growth company that's helping people feel more confident in their own skin. From supplements to topical product, Unthin is deeply rooted in the science behind helping people with a healthy hair and scalp. You can use the code TOM20, that's TOM20 for 20% off at the checkout. Thank you to Unthin to supporting honest conversations around mental health. James, thanks very much for joining me, mate.
My pleasure, mate. Looking forward to it.
So you are more well known for being on Geordie Shore.
Yeah.
Geordie Shore, I have so many great memories of that programme.
Do you know, honestly, it's been a roller coaster. It has been crazy. Like, it's 15 years now, you know, since the first one come out. 15 years. And I've still got MTV ringing my phone up going, we're thinking about doing another series next year. And I'm like, all right, series 26, series 27 or whatever. And I'm just like, how? Like, if you had said to me all them years ago, like, this is the way your life's going to be and you'll still be doing it, I'd have just been like, absolutely no chance. Like, I don't even think I thought the first series was going to go on TV.
Really?
I thought it was a pilot. That's the way they pitched it to us all, because they'd been looking at different areas. I think they'd done a pilot in Liverpool, they'd done somewhere else, and then they found Geordie's, like Newcastle, and that was the one that they thought, this is the one we need to do.
So how did it come about, them first approaching you going on the show? How did that all come about? I know it's 15 years ago.
Yeah, no, I still remember it all. Like, it's weird. Like, I've got some of my memories I remember, but a lot of stuff I've just totally forgot about. I remember being in the gym, and a lot of my older mates at the time who used to, because I think I was 19 when I done the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
That young, wow.
Yeah, and a lot of my mates were older. Like, even the lads on the show, like, a lot of them were older than us. They were like 23, 25. I think one of them was even 27. And I was like this 19-year-old lad going in thinking, God, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, but the lads in the gym were about this, there's this new show, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a house in Newcastle. They're just going to fill you full of drink and you're going to go out all the time. So, like, to me, I was in that era of going out all of the time. So I was like, oh, it just sounds like what I do anyway. And then they like take you to the gym during the day, go for haircuts. Oh, that sounds good, that. Like, thought out of it, ended up going on a night out, and I was in one of the clubs, Tup, and this, she wasn't even like much older than this. She must have been like early 20s. This blonde girl come up to us and started talking to us. And I was just like back and forth. And she said, oh, I'm part of the production for Geordie Shore. We're looking for people to do it. Would you be interested? And I was like, well, yeah, of course I would. That's just why not. And then it just kind of went from there. So literally just one conversation in a nightclub turned to giving them my number. Then they called us a few days later. Then I think the week after that, they asked us to go into like an on-camera interview. So it was like this, but in like a chair, and I was sat there probably in like a vest or something. And I was just like answering questions. And then I think a couple of more weeks went by and they went, right, we want you in for another face-to-face, sat us down and told us that I was on. And I was just like, what is actually going to happen? Like, did not have a clue where it was going to go to, or if I was going to get on with people, whether I was going to like it, because it had never been a goal of mine to be famous or go on TV. I was still kind of finding my feet in where I wanted to go with my life, what I wanted to do. I didn't really have a clue, so I just used to go out every weekend. And that was it, really.
Were you have been at college at that point, or were you working?
No, so I left school at 15 because it was my birthday's in August. I left school at 15, and I think when I turned 16, I went to college and done joinery, because at school I hated it, absolutely hated it. But I always used to like the woodwork classes and like a few other bits. Got to a point where they started taking us out of normal classes and putting us in extra ones of them, because I think I must have been disrupting and just being a twat. So when I left school, I was like, oh well, that's all I can do really. I'll do that. So I went to college, done that, loved it, done an apprenticeship, and then after that, kind of trialed a few different other jobs. I worked in a clothes shop at one point. My dad had a business, so I was doing deliveries for him. And as I say, I was still just like winging it and just thinking, I'll just figure it out one day. And then ended up getting Geordie Shore, yeah.
And everything's gone from there.
And then everything's went nuts.
What was like the peak of the programme? Because I must have been in year 10 when it first came out.
You're making us feel old now.
Well, you're only 5 years older, but
Yeah.
well, you were obviously really young, weren't you? You were
Yeah.
19 when you went in. You would have been the youngest person in there, I imagine.
There was Holly, who was 18.
Yeah.
And then I was a bit older,
But it was absolutely huge, wasn't it?
I don't think anyone expected it to blow up the way it did. I really don't. And it was just, I would say the peak was probably, I don't know, like series after series, it was just getting bigger and bigger.
Was there the series when there was you, Gary, Ricky, Aaron, you were like the main, and then Scott, Scotty T.
Yeah,
like the
Scott came in what series did he come in? Series 4. He was a loose cannon. Like as soon as he came in, it was just like mental. Yeah, absolutely.
He bounced off the wall.
Yeah. I think for us, it was like the first one was like the tester, and I remember when it ended, we were all sat in a room and we were crying because we're like, "This is it. Like we're not going to see each other again. Like we're never going to experience this again." And then MTV took me down to London, and then they were like, "Right, we need you to quit your jobs, whatever you are doing." They give us all a phone. It was like a BlackBerry at the time. They set up a Twitter account, and they were like, because there was no Instagram or anything then, and they went, right, like this is your job now, and they put one on like a really, well, at that age we didn't really need much money anyway, but they put one like a little bit of a retainer just to keep it going. And then once the first series came out, it just went mental. Once it hit air, and then all of us lads were doing nightclub appearances, so we were booked every night of the week in a different city. And we felt like rock stars. We literally did. We're just like turning up somewhere. There would be, back in the day when you'd go to a club and it would be full, you wouldn't be able to move. So it'd be like that every night of the week.
Would you have drunk every night at that point?
We did.
Yeah, I bet.
Do you know what? I look back now and I think, how did I actually do that? Because I've always been into my fitness. I've always been into training. Like a lot of us, majority of the lads were. But we used to go out, get absolutely smashed, and then we'd ask to go at the gym, and then some days they'd be like, oh, well, the only time you can fit it in the schedule is if you go at like 8 a.m.
You've been out all night.
Yeah, we'd been out all night. We'd get up, we'd go at the gym, we'd train, and then we'd do it all again.
Yeah.
But we're like just robots. Whereas if you'd done it now,
fucking hell.
I don't even know. I could probably count on one hand how many times I've drank this year, if not in the last 2 years. So it's like
priorities change though.
It's just it's like one extreme to the other. But
Have you got a specific story when you might have been at a PA, or you know something's happened within one of the episodes where you're thinking, how the fuck have I got here?
For me, it was Australia, because Geordie Shore went massive in Australia, and we were getting like obviously a lot of tweets at the time from people in Australia saying they loved it. And we were just like, hey, this is mad. There's people on the other side of the world loving the show and that. Like, this is mental. And MTV flew. It was me and Sophie we filmed like a little bit of a spin-off on the Gold Coast in Australia. And we were both like posting saying, oh, we're going to Australia, blah, blah, blah. The fans there, they must have worked out what flight we were on, got off the flight in Australia, and the whole terminal was just full, literally full of like young girls, young lads, and they all had like Australian like koalas and like, you know, like cuddly toys, and like they had these Tim Tams, and like they were bringing us like loads of Australian gifts and that. And it was like, I remember turning to Sophie and I was like, I feel like I'm on One Direction afterwards. Yeah, it was that mental, because we all still looked at ourselves as being just normal.
Yeah.
Like we didn't think anything. We were kind of like, how's this happening? And didn't really have enough time to process it. We were kind of just going with it.
How old were you when you went to Australia?
I'd have been 20 or 21. But bearing in mind,
Young though, innit?
before that, I'd only ever been a Magaluf for two lads' holidays and been away with my parents. So it was like going from one extreme to the other. They took one business class as well. I remember. I bet if we look back through my old photos, I've got photos. Me and Sophie were sat there like taking photos of for little meals and we're bread and that, thinking like we've made it. This is absolute madness. Honestly, it was just like we couldn't have expected it, and it was just so surreal and different because even at that time, there'd only ever been like Big Brother or a couple of shows. There wasn't massive reality shows. There wasn't like now where you've got your TikTokers, your influencers, anyone like that. It was like, if you seen someone on the street you recognise, you knew them off like a soap or a film, didn't you?
Yeah. You didn't have Instagram, did you, back then?
Nah, didn't have Instagram. I still remember when they set up on that for the first time and we were like, what is this? It was wild, honestly.
So you'd obviously done a lot of partying back in the day.
Yeah.
Is there any specific stories you can tell about any nights or people that you'd met? I bet you've come across some pretty big names and crazy people in your time.
Yeah. Do you know what? People thought we were crazy on the show. We were probably worse off.
I can imagine.
So they caught a lot of stuff. Like, bear in mind, when we started that, TV was very different. So there wasn't as many rules and regulations. Like now,
you can't drink on Love Island anymore, can you?
Nah,
or you can have like one or two or
I think
something.
they allowed like one beer or 2 wines or something. And I got told about that, and I went, Jesus, that would be hard. Because like especially at the busiest time, we were filming 3 series of Geordie Shore, and it was like 4 weeks at a time. So it was like going out every night, you had to drink to be able to get through it. Otherwise, it would just feel like it took forever. Like I remember it would get to points where we'd be like, right, we've got 17 nights left. We've got 16 nights out left. We loved it, but it was just really taxing on our bodies.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We were that was one of the reasons why I left. Like I'd done 10 series and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I think by that time I was 25, but I was like starting to put weight on. I was like, just felt a bit, just didn't like the way kind of my life was just in nightclubs every night. Kind of got sick of it. But yeah, and then I ended up going back.
What was the gap between leaving and coming back?
I think it was about 3 years.
Right.
Maybe. Yeah, I went back at 27 because I'd got in a relationship and I thought, right, I'm settling down. Like I opened up a gym and I was like, right, I'm just going to completely turn my lifestyle around and I want a new business. I want somewhere where I've got to be every day rather than dotting about the country, staying in hotel rooms, drinking every night. And I loved it. But then my relationship started to fail because it just wasn't the right person. And then the business, that was kind of not going to where I wanted it to as well.
Was that the gym?
That was the gym, yeah, because I went in with business partners and we just weren't getting on.
Right.
Everyone had different directions. So then I ended up getting a call from MTV to go back on the show, and that was kind of like that's a sign. I'll just go and do that again. I'll reset and I'll go again.
I can imagine, obviously you don't have to speak specific figures, but I can imagine the first series compared to the series they asked you to go back in, the pay was a little bit different.
Do you know what? The first series we didn't get paid because we just done it for the crack, really. I think the second series we'd started doing PAs and they'd put on a little bit of a retainer, so we weren't doing well by any means, but like it was funding the experience and the lifestyle, so it was decent. But then it was almost sort of after series 2, before Cancun, and then after Cancun, which is the third series, where our lives just completely changed, where like the PA money was coming in. We started getting a lot more money for doing the show. And then it was kind of just every series after that, it would just get a bit more. But then they capped it. They're dead stingy now. They're dead tight now. Everything's capped now, but it's like, it's good.
I suppose though, fucking hell, like I remember when I first started going out in Barnsley, where I'm from, like Geordie Shore, that was the height of Geordie Shore.
Yeah.
Do you remember them vests you used to get from each of their own?
That was my mate, that Alex. He made absolute millions off it.
I can imagine.
I still speak to him now, and he's just like building bloody massive houses. And
I knew like a friend of his, and I was saying, I must have done well off the clothing brand.
Yeah.
So I remember they used to have one in Leeds, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I used to go in there. I think I must have been 16, 17. And I worked part-time for my dad at this point. I used to get £200 a month part-time. And I went in, I basically spent my wage on clothes, went out that night, and then I was asking my dad for some lunch money at college on a Monday. But
when you look back at the styles, like, God.
Oh, yeah, tragic.
They were horrible, weren't they? The haircuts.
Down there.
Yeah, right down. It was like, the smaller the clothes, the better. And there was like the drop crotch jeans.
The pins.
The pins and the plim soles. And it was like... But I remember that as like peak Geordie Shore times, and it was class. I remember being in a club in London once, and there was like massive names, comedians and stuff there. And we were in vests and stuff, and like, but we were getting given tables and bottles, and we're like, how is this even happening? Like, because we were just like, we're like the riffraff. We're just all in vests and like little tops and that, but then we're given a table in one of the best clubs in London, given the drink just because they wanted Geordie Shore there, because it was that like,
but it must have been
as a household name then, wasn't it?
Pinching yourself, thinking, how the fuck am I getting paid all this money to do this?
It was as I say, I don't think we had time to really process it all. And especially at that age, you don't look at life and things the same way as you do when you're older. So yes, we appreciated it, but it wouldn't have been anywhere near like as you get older and you look back at things like now. When we go and film and I get paid, I'm like, yeah, that's better. Whereas back then it was like all you thought about was what car you wanted to get, or like.
I think life happens, and as you mentioned before, you see life in a different lens and perspective when you go through things and things happen to you.
Yeah.
You really start to realise what matters.
Definitely.
I know you very sadly lost your dad, didn't you, in 2022, and I can imagine that was massive, but also changed your perspective on a lot of things. Massively.
It's totally changed. Like even to this day, my life's not the same as what it was then. Like the dynamic, the family, just such a key role in the whole family. Like I'm lucky that I had like a dad that I grew up and he was always there. He always helped us with things. He taught us loads, and he was sort of the person that I would pick the phone up if I had a problem. Even to this day now, if someone happens to say it in my car or something else, I'd be like, God, I wish I could just ring my dad now. But yeah, he's massive miss. Like, and that was just like out of the blue, just no warning, no nothing. I had a phone call from my mum to say my dad was in hospital. He'd had like a heart attack, like a mini heart attack. They got him in the ambulance, took him down, and then he was just literally. I went in to see him the next day, and he was just in one of the wards and just sat in bed having a conversation. And then I think I went away, and then my phone rang, and it was the nurses saying to come back. He'd had a massive heart attack, and they put him in a coma, and kind of just sat at his bedside for 2 days thinking, is he going to pull around and is he going to come through this? But he never did. Like, and honestly, that was the hardest day I've ever had to go through anything. But like, even now going on, like my mum, she's disabled. A lot of people don't know it. I don't really talk about it much, but so my mum was then obviously on her own. Mobility got worse. She's ended up like in a wheelchair or needing assistance all the time. So we've moved her out the family house into a bungalow this year. And then it's like, she's fell over twice since. She's just got out of, she had to be in a care home for 8 weeks it's called respite. So when you can't look after yourself, they need to like support you until you can go back in your own home. So she's just come out of there. And then last week she had another fall. So it's like the whole dynamics of the family's changed because my dad would have been there looking after her. His mum, my grandma, she's just turned 100.
Wow.
She's also not been very well this year. Like she's almost like bedbound now. So it's like me and my brother, and then I've got a sister as well that we kind of have to fill them roles now as well. Whereas
younger or older than you?
they're both older.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like all these new things that I never thought I would ever have to step up to is now here. And it's like, I appreciate how much my dad used to do, because we've got to do it now, as well as trying to navigate our own lives, as just set up a new business, the stress that comes with that. And it's like, I feel like this year it's pretty much been every week nearly something bad has happened. And it's just like, there's been so many times where I've thought, fucking don't know if I can take this, like just want the ground to swallow you up, or like not really leave the house for a day or two. But then you find the strength and you push through it, and you just go, do you know what, like you can't let things like keep you down, like especially because I've got that role that I need to do. I need to look after the other people as well. So
I can imagine that was tough, mate.
so going from Geordie Shore, not a care in the world, to then this later part of life, it's like your highs are so high, but then your lows can feel so low as well. But apart from that, there's been some good things happening. So it's kind of like, I do think everyone through their life at some point will feel pain. They will go through really hard times and struggles, but it's just like, you've just got to keep going, because...
What is it that keeps you going?
I think it's just because I know there's so much joy that I get from other things. And like, I'm at a point in my life where I just got engaged last year. Like this year we were meant to be planning the wedding. We were meant to be starting a family. But that's kind of went off to one side for a little bit for now. But we're both like, we can't wait for that time in our lives. Like, I can't wait to be a dad. I know you've just found out that you're going to be a dad. So
due on the 2nd of June next year. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Mate. Honestly, I cannot wait.
That's just one of them things where you just know your life's just going to it's going to change, but for so good.
Yeah.
Like, I just imagine them seeing them for the first time. Like,
I think it was an interesting story when Amy, my wife, when she told me.
Yeah.
I went to Vegas. I say for a business trip, 2 days business, the rest whatever.
Yeah.
But I was away for 10 days, and Amy found out the day after I'd gone, and she didn't want to tell me while I was away. So I was away with one of my best friends and the whole situation. So she told me the day that I got back. But the day that I got back, the day after, I was speaking at a school in London. So she drove down and met me at the hotel that I was staying in. And she was sat opposite me like this, and I'd been there at the hotel about an hour before she arrived and had a sauna and stuff. So I went and used that. I was up in the little lobby area. Luckily, there was no one there in my fucking robe on my laptop doing a bit of work. And she sits down, and obviously it's been 10 days, the longest time we'd spent apart. And I just had a feeling.
Yeah,
I just
knew there was something.
I had a feeling, and I said, "Is there a little baby in there?" And she looked at me, and she was like,
You just knew, like you just had a sign.
Burst out crying.
Yeah.
But after that, it was like don't get me wrong, I've always been driven and ambitious, but it was like a mindset shift.
It is.
And I'm like, right, it's not just me anymore. I've got a little baby on the way that I'm going to provide for. Like, everything's going to change, but for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I honestly, I can't wait for it. I know it's going to be unreal. So I would say that's like a driving factor. And I just know like difficult times don't last. Yeah. Like, there is a lot of shit you go through, and you feel like at the time, like, how are you going to recover from it? But there is always a way, and you do get another chance at something, or you do get some luck. And
do you feel like the tough times make you stronger?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I feel like it's going to sound mad, but I feel like I take on the world. It doesn't matter what you throw at us now. I feel like I've already been in the trenches, or like in like a time where I've thought, "Fuck, now I can't get much worse than this." And I know I'll always bounce back and come through it. Like, yeah.
I always think the same. And it was my brother, unfortunate, that passed away. But losing my brother was, the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But like you losing your dad, you know, when you go through something like that, losing somebody that close to you, I always feel like I can take over the world.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I imagine that was just heartbreaking for the whole family as well. It's just like...
It is, mate, but, you know, I always say life happens for you and not to you.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's quite surreal. Like, you know, back when I was at school, Geordie Shore was my favourite programme. Like the most, I used to look forward to whatever day it was on. I was like, fucking man, Geordie Shore's on tonight. And obviously been sat with yourself. Like, but, you know, if Liam had not passed away over 10 years ago, I wouldn't have this opportunity now to speak to you. And yes, obviously we're talking about Geordie Shore, but there's other things that we're speaking about that are very meaningful.
Definitely.
And, you know, you've got some really exciting things happening in the future.
Yeah.
All that wouldn't happen. We wouldn't be having this conversation if that had not happened 10 years ago. So, you know, life happens for you, not to you.
It's like a pivotal point as well. It kind of makes you realise which direction you want to go down.
Yeah.
I think also you learn who you want around you as well. So like
Absolutely.
your friends have probably changed. The people that you speak to on a daily basis, even down to the people that you watch on social media and people that you have around your life.
I unfollowed Conor McGregor the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because he's just on a bit of a wild one.
Just fucking like, he's like my core values, like looking at his post on Instagram, like I was thinking that does not align with who I am or what I stand for as a person. Like one thing, and each to their own, by no means necessary. If you enjoy a drink, that's absolutely fine. I just don't really drink anymore. And like the stuff that he was posting, and I unfollowed him. I was like, I don't want to see that stuff on my. Like, I get that people are interested in that and they get a buzz off it, but that's just not me. I'm just not bothered.
I know. I kind of feel like because I got all of the drinking out early, I've never been a social drinker. Like I would go on holiday with the lads or whatever, and they'd be getting pints in the airport in the morning. They'd be like, "What you want?" I'd be like, "Double vodka, shot of tequila," and they'd be like, "What?" And I'm like, "I don't like beer. I don't. I've never drank pints." Like, if they were sat in a pub watching the football and drinking pints and that, I would just be like, "It's just never been me." So
how do you handle being in Geordie Shore now with the whole drinking element of things?
Well, it's changed a lot now. You don't actually have to drink now. Whereas the early days, you'd go in, you could have a drink at 11 o'clock in the morning if you wanted to, whatever. We would sometimes get in the hot tub and have like a bit, like not, they would drink beers, I would drink like, we used to get these Alka Pops, Turbo Teas they were called. Never seen them since, but that first series must have been sponsored by them. There was millions. They were like WKD. So I used to drink like equivalent of a WKD in the hot tub, and then we'd get ready and do stuff. But now, like, you've got the choice where if you want to have a drink, you can have a drink, but they monitor it. They literally log every drink that you have.
Right. It's mad how that's changed, isn't it? Over the last 15 years, 10 years.
The show was literally created for getting drunk and doing stupid things. Whereas now it's like they have to protect that a bit. But it is good in ways. Like, I've noticed the support that you get now compared to then is next level. Like, at the start, we'd do a psych thing just when you went into the show, when you got cast. And that was just to check that basically you were going to be all right. You weren't like going to break down or do anything crazy. And then they would do like background checks on you and stuff. But then like now there's always on set or like part of the production, psychs there that you can, if you need to have a chat, if you need to take a break, you can go and get support with them. I know when I lost my dad, I really lent into that. Before, I'd never really lent into it. I'd always been like, nah, I'm all right, mate. I'm sound. I'm all right. I'm fine. And then one day, I think it was just getting on top of us. And I sat and I had, maybe it was about an hour's chat with the psych at the time. And I remember leaving just feeling so like relieved. Like I'd had a massive, like a brick lifted off on top of us because I'd been just compressing it all for so long. And I let it out. And do you know what? I shed a few tears and really got emotional with it. But then afterwards, I went, I need to do that more often. Like I do need to speak about things. I know with blokes especially, like you don't want to feel weak. You don't want to, I still feel like that now. Like some of the things I've spoke to you about then, I'll only speak to maybe my partner or closest friends about. I'd not put it on social media and stuff because I don't want people, you don't want people to feel sorry for you. You don't want like pity or like, you just want someone to listen to you and kind of tell you that things are going to get better. Yeah. That's what you need. So yeah, I've been leaning into that more. And
is that something, is therapy more, is that a regular occurrence now? Or is it a case of just opening up and speaking to loved one?
when we're filming, we'll all have chats with the Sykes a lot throughout, and then they ring us. Probably they'll touch base with us once a month just to make sure that we're all right and stuff. But I will say, like, I'm really lucky, and I've got such a supportive partner. Like, she totally understands it all. She's just been through it, through everything. We've both been there for each other. Like, when we first met, obviously I lost my dad. She'd only met my dad once, and then I went through that, and she was really there and supportive for us. Her mum had breast cancer, so she was going through that. So we were just kind of like, that's how we ended up like figuring out that we were really well suited for each other. And honestly,
make or break in those situations, isn't it?
Everything now, I know I can just go and have a chat with her, and she'll either give us some good advice with it, or should give us a cuddle when I needed it, and I would do the same for her. And I do think, like, the partner that you choose is such an important choice. Like,
100%.
when you've had bad uns and you get a good un, and you realise, like, all the things that you should be doing for your partner. Like, sometimes people will get the wrong end of it and they'll end up having an argument, but really it doesn't need the argument. It's just and I just know I couldn't have dealt with any of that whilst I was going through the struggles, and she was the same. So we literally just picked each other up. Just, what's
her name?
Leah. Yeah, Leah. Yeah,
sounds like an amazing lady.
Honestly, she's unbelievable. And I honestly thought I was going to be single. Like, I had no interest in really meeting anyone, because I'd had a couple of other relationships that hadn't worked out well. They'd not understood the show. They'd not really liked the sides that come with it. Like, what people don't realise is, so I signed up to do Geordie Shore, didn't expect anything from it. It ended up being an overnight, like, massive success. It was on nearly every TV throughout the UK, different countries, as I said before. You can't just go, do you know what, I've had enough of this now, I'll switch it off. You can't go, no one will ever speak to us about it ever again. No one will ever stop us in the street. No, like that, or whether I'd done a TV show last week or 10 years ago, you're still going to get people, like, it stays with you. I remember at one point I was like, I can't do it anymore. I just want to change. I want to get away from this. And I was maybe thinking about it the wrong way. And I was like, I stopped going certain places. I would only go to, say I wanted to go to the shops for some clothes or a haircut. I would look at the quietest times, or I'd try and go with a cap on. And
was that because you just couldn't be asked with the conversations that came with if you were in a busier time of the day? Or
I think it was just inside I was kind of over it, but I think I was just really run down with it all. Really, it took its toll on us, and I just wanted like a fresh start. Yeah, but there's been many times where I've went, was this the right decision to do? But when I look at it and I weigh up all of the positives, there's so many more positives that's come with it. And I wouldn't still do it now if I didn't enjoy it. So it's good that it has changed the dynamic, and it's more about us following our lives, because majority of the cast wouldn't do it now if it was like going out with clubs every night. But now that it's like following your life, your partners, getting married, having babies, it's just like organic now. So yeah, I'm glad like that's evolved a bit, but there was times where I'd be like, God, like, was this all worth it? Like I can't have any normality. Like I feel bad for a lot of these people who do reality TV shows, think they're gonna get so much from it, and 9 out of 10, like a lot of the new ones, they don't really get it.
Yeah, they don't, especially Love Island now. If you're at the more recent series of Love Islands, fucking hell, it's not all about how many followers you've got on Instagram at all. But if you look back to like series 2, 3, 4, 5 of Love Island, and you looked at the amount of followers that people would get off it, they'd come off and they'd have like millions of followers. Yeah. Now they come off, they don't even have like 100k. Obviously 100k followers, I've got 100k. Yeah. But,
no.
You just don't have that same effect.
It's everything's been diluted, I think. As I say, with like being TikTok and all of these other things now, things have changed. I remember would come out, and when the show aired, every episode would gain like 50,000-60,000 followers overnight. and it would
Really?
just be like,
That many?
yeah.
Wow.
And it was just like, how? Because there was millions and millions of people tuning in and watching it, and obviously new people signing up to Instagram and stuff now. But I think kind of there's that many platforms now, and everyone's kind of on
TikTok,
different ones, aren't they?
especially TikTok.
Yeah.
Was having the conversation with the previous guest, and he wasn't on TikTok, and he's bringing out a book, and I said, highly recommend you getting on TikTok.
Yeah.
For me, it's been the easiest platform to grow on, and that's the thing. Like, if you post great content, valuable content, or funny content, or whatever your niche is, and you stay consistent with it, it's inevitable that it's going to do well.
Yeah,
And like you said, though, there's that many people and these different platforms. You know, if you really want to, you can get to that level that you want to get to.
You got to put the time in there. You've got to be consistent with it. And all
That's
that,
another thing that's not really common anymore. You don't seem to have these public you don't have these PAs anymore, do you?
PAs are gone. Apparently, nightclubs are. I've seen a stat. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, so I'm not going to put it out there because that'll be a lie. But basically, it said how many clubs over the last few years have shut, and it's like majority. Like, there's not many nightclubs standing now. I think when we were like going out and stuff, there was nothing better to do. Like, that was like, if you weren't going out 3 or 4 nights a week, it was like, what were you doing? Because it was like, you didn't want to miss it. Whereas now, I think the younger generation, they go to raves and stuff, maybe it's once a month or once every few weeks. Or
Young generation aren't really big drinkers either, from what I gather.
they're not. They're not.
I can't remember the last time. I think the last time I went out and drank was September, and I live in Home Firth in Huddersfield, which is like a nice little sort of town within Huddersfield. And I just went out in the local, went to a few little bars. I think before that, I couldn't tell you the last time I went to a club. Like, to me, the thought, like, Leeds would be the place I'd go out if I was to ever go out. The thought of going out to a club, I couldn't think out worse.
I couldn't. And after spending so much time in there. But it's mad because at one point there was nothing better. Like, if we were going out on a Thursday or Friday, me and the lads would be speaking about it on Monday or Tuesday, being like, oh, what he's wearing, like, oh, we'll go to the shops, we'll get some stuff and then we'll go out. And then, but now it's like,
do you think as well? Like,
I'd rather go for a coffee now than set foot anywhere near a bar or a...
This is why I love doing this podcast so much.
Yeah.
Like, we're both sober. We're having, meaningful conversation. Like, there's no alcohol involved. We'll go away. Probably, I'll always feel amazing after doing these episodes. I hope you do as well.
Absolutely.
And we'll remember it.
Yeah.
And it's been great. But for me, the idea of going out now, like, one of the other mindset shifts was when my wife told me she was pregnant. I said, I'm not going to drink the whole time that she's pregnant. Yeah. Not that I was a big drinker before, but I really enjoyed going out on social occasions and not drinking and just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
But for me now, the only way I think I would really enjoy going on a night out clubbing or to a rave is if I was absolutely fucked.
It'd have to be... like we go Ibiza once a year, like me and all of the lads that I grew up with. There's a big group of us, normally like 15 of us go, and like a lot of them like work offshore on the oil rigs or something, or they've got 2 or 3 kids at home, and it's like their only chance to like really let loose. But we go for 3 days, and it always gets to the second day, and I go, could have probably just done 2. Could have just done 2 days, and then it'll take us like a week or something once I get back to kind of get my head back in the game and catch up on everything, and you just put things off, don't you?
This podcast is fueled by Prep. Prep is a nutrition-first meal prep company that allows me to have high-quality meals without spending hours in the kitchen. As a business owner that prioritizes their health and fitness, Prep allows me to hit my goals for the day without sacrificing loads of time. My personal favorite is the Cajun salmon, but if that's not for you, then there is plenty of other options as well, including vegetarian and halal. And the best part, you get 10% off your order when you use the code TOM10 at the checkout. That's TOM10 at prepuk.com. Alcohol is the only drug that when you don't take, people wonder why.
And the question they're like, what are you not drinking for? You're weird, you're not drinking. And it'll just be like, yeah. I always kind of thought, like, I've got a big enough personality that I don't need to drink to bring it out of us.
Yeah.
And like, if we're in an environment, don't get us wrong, like one thing I'll always say is I'll never ever want to be the loudest person in the room. I've never, ever since I was younger, like, I kind of like to do my own thing, but like get involved, but like, I don't want to be the one there that is trying to make everyone laugh or is doing stupid stuff or being the loudest. Like,
You'd be the listener.
Yeah, it's never been me that.
Yeah.
It's honestly,
I always thought that about the show as well. Like,
Yeah.
There's obviously some big characters on Geordie Shore,
Yeah.
or there was, and there obviously still is now. But I always thought that
Yeah.
you seemed not shy but reserved in a
Yeah.
way that like you only spoke if you actually felt like adding something meaningful to the conversation, not just for the sake of speaking.
Well, what I will say is, obviously, I've been in this industry for so many years. I've met so many people on different shows as well. And you will be very surprised at, if you watch a show, the loudest person, the one giving it everything, if the cameras aren't there and you sat in a room with them, they've got the least to say.
I can imagine.
They're literally just like on the phone scrolling or like just not really getting involved. But as soon as the cameras go on, it's like, boom. Yeah. And I always think I never really, because I never wanted to be famous, say, or I never like went, right, I want to do loads of TV. I kind of never thought myself, right, I'm on a TV show, I really need to try, or I would always just go in and be myself. And it was kind of just everything that happened with me was just organically happening.
Yeah.
I would never have a producer in my ear going, go and do this to someone, or go and say this, or will you do that to create like more friction or drama. I'd never really play up to it, but things would just happen to me organically. Like it still happens now. Like some people, because every time we do a series, you'll sit with producers and they'll be like, what's going on in your life? Like, have you got any like good things coming up? Who do you speak to? Who haven't you spoke to? And then that's the chance for them to like build their backstories and start creating the series. And for me, it's always been like, well, I've got my partner coming in, or I'm going to propose, like the latest ones, planning a baby, opening a new business, my best mate's getting married. But for some people, they mightn't have that, so they'll go, right, so you haven't got any of that, so is there anyone that you've got a problem with? And then it'll go down that sort of route as well.
Cause drama.
Honestly, it's just the last thing I want at the minute, especially because I've got so many things going on with my family. Like the last thing I need is another person adding.
Why? To
want to have a bit of like
life's
fake
too
beef
short.
or like a bit of drama, and it's like
Life's too short.
Yeah, as well. And I think so many fans watch the show, and like for me, like I don't need to turn anyone on my side, or like I don't need validation, or I don't need anyone to like us. It's kind of just like, this is who I am.
Yeah,
I'm very appreciative of a lot of people that do support us and do back us and like us. But yeah.
How would you say that your circle has changed from, obviously you mentioned that you weren't really a big drinker, and especially now you're not a big drinker. No. How has your circle changed from maybe your early mid-20s to now?
Massively, yeah. I used to go out maybe 3 times a week, majority of weeks, drinking every single time. It was like, I kind of felt like there was nothing else to do but that. Whereas now, I never go out, and but like I don't miss it, and it's not like ever a thought of, God, I haven't been out in ages, or like I'll sometimes see people put on do you know the sober things where it's like, I've been sober for so many days.
No,
have you not seen people do it? It's like an app, and it's like, I have not drank for 30 odd days or something. I'll just think, God, I probably haven't drank I haven't drank since January, or like, it's just
Is that how long?
The last time I drank was when we filmed in April.
Nice.
And it's not a case of like, I just haven't been in an environment where I've needed to drink.
Yeah.
Like I've been in places where I've went to events or certain things, and I've just thought, oh, well, there's no point in us drinking tonight because I've got stuff on tomorrow. I don't want to ruin myself. Yeah, and I'm like,
I want to get in bed for 9.
Yeah. Whereas before it was like, you would do your pre-drinks, you would go out, and then it would like, you would keep drinking to keep you going to get to the club, and then
Yeah.
like daft hours in the morning and stuff. But now I just think, oh,
I bet imagine
I've done that.
with your friends as well. I always say, if the only thing that you can do with your friends is drink, then you need a better set of friends.
You need new friends. Absolutely.
My three best friends, they all drink, and we'll go out and sometimes we'll have a drink. But equally, I can sit down with them, have a coffee, go to the gym, and we'll speak about everything and anything and have the most meaningful conversations. And I can tell them when I'm down, I can tell them when things are good, I can speak to them about absolutely everything. But when I was in my younger years, nothing against the set of friends that I had, that, you know, lovely set of lads, and still speak to them now. But it's almost like the only way I felt like I could really be myself is if I'd had a drink.
I feel like you just naturally drift as well, don't you? You can never pinpoint a time. Like, I've had different friends where I had ones that would come on my PAs with us. I've got ones that I would go out, like when I became single again at like 20, 25 or something, 26, where I'd start going out again. And it just depends where everyone's at in their lives at the time. But the best friends are like, I've got some mates that we've been mates in school. We'll not see each other loads, but like we're always there. We'll always message each other like or if we see something happening, we'll always be there for each other. Or, you know, if you ever got in any bother or something and if you pick the phone up, they'd answer and they'd come and help you straight away. Like, I've got loads of mates like that. But then the ones that I was partying with all the time, don't really speak to anymore. You never fell out and you've never had crosswords or there's no, but they kind of find new people to do that with, don't they? And you're too busy like creating your future, settling down, businesses.
I always, as well, like, I was in Florida for my stepbrother's wedding. I got back on Saturday.
Nice, lush.
And it was amazing. If you ever get a chance, mate, it was Panama City in Florida.
Right.
And where he got married was called Seaside, Florida, funny enough. And it was the most magical place I've ever been. Everywhere was clean. Everyone was really friendly. If you get a chance, mate, we've all said as a family we're going back next year. It was amazing. And I had a few drinks on the wedding day.
Yeah.
I had a pint. I could tell straight away that I thought, fucking hell, my head's gone.
Yeah.
But then after that, I think I had 3 more drinks. And even at that point, I still weren't arsed.
I think
I just couldn't get in.
And you feel like you don't get drunk as well.
Yeah, it was
I've
weird.
had loads of them times over the years where I've had 3 or 4 drinks and I'm like, usually by now I'd be a bit buzzing and so I'd be like, I'll just have a Diet Coke or something for the next one. We still have a good night, but you just think, is there any point? Is there any benefit from me having 3 drinks to me having 12 drinks? Apart from waking up the next day with a banging head and feeling like crap. There probably isn't.
But you've got your new business that sounds like it's going incredibly well.
Yeah.
And I said to Amy, my goals are more important than having a drink.
Definitely.
Like, for me, I thrive off being able to get up early in the morning, you know, go to the gym, do whatever, get to the end of the day and look back and think there wasn't anything else possible that I could have done to make that day any better.
Yeah.
But going out at the weekend and getting absolutely wankered, it jeopardizes everything.
It does. Makes you not want to do anything.
Motivation goes.
Yeah, motivation's gone. You feel like crap. Yeah. So touching back on like friendship groups and stuff, like people in shit situations or they feel a bit stuck or a bit lost or whatever, maybe he's trying to disconnect a little bit and focus on yourself, putting yourself first instead of like keeping the lads happy. It's probably a good thing to do.
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup, can you?
Nah, exactly. So
I think that's a really important, valid question, that as well, is if you feel not yourself or you're feeling a little bit low or disconnected and you're trying to drink to mask that to fit in within a social circle
or find happiness.
You need to that's the underlying issue there. That's where you need, and if alcohol is the thing that's masking that, then that's maybe the issue. I think
it's no positives come really from drink or drugs or heavy binging of any sort. You're best off literally. I honestly think there's nothing better, like you just said before, waking up early, fresh, getting yourself outside, getting some fresh air, going for a walk, hitting the gym at some point, getting a workout in. Like, you just feel like you get a boost, don't you? You feel invincible.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go out, yeah, you'll have a bit of a laugh and that, but then you'll wake up the next day and you'll be like a zombie, and you'll be sluggish and you'll just
Hans outweigh the pros these days for me.
And before you know it, you're doing that all the time. It's not good. It's not good. I don't know how we drank so much on Geordie Shore, but we were lucky in a way, right? Because not many people get paid to do it. So it was like all we had to do was that.
Yeah.
So yes, we'd party and would feel like crap the next day, but we didn't have to go and have meetings, or we didn't have to go and put a shift in somewhere or go back and look after the family. Like we just had to do it again. So as grateful as I am in the good times it has, but like if I hadn't went on the show, yes, I would have drank for a few more years, but I wouldn't have drank anywhere near as much as I did because of the show. Because I needed to drink to get through that at the time, because it was like 40 days of nights out.
Yeah,
so that was hard. That's so like that's why now where I don't even think about a drink. I couldn't tell you the last time I had one. Maybe it's at my mate's wedding. Yeah, that was the last time my mate got married in Rome, and I had a few there.
But in the moment, you think, you know, if you feel like it in the moment, then just go with the flow.
Yeah,
I think it's when you're forcing it, then there's an issue.
It's when your life kind of revolves around it as well. When that's like one of the main pillars of your life is meeting up with the lads, or even some people drink in the house. It's one thing I've never understood.
I've never done that.
My dad used to drink in the house. He used to have the odd whiskies and that.
Yeah.
But like, it just never was something for me.
It's very much generational. It's got less and less and less. Like my dad and granddad's. My dad's really into his fitness. He's a really avid runner, swimmer. He's out every day on his bike. You know, he's 61, I think, and he looks 50.
Yeah.
Looks after himself. But he loves a drink in the house. But one thing my dad never does is you'll never see my dad pissed.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like he's quite happy just having maybe 2 or 3 or 4 and he can cut it off. And I think that was always my problem.
Yeah.
Is I could never cut it off.
It was always a lot more hard.
Yeah. No. Who would you say out of the show that you feel like you've bonded with the best and made the best connections with?
It's a good one, that. Like, as I say, it's went through different stages because there's been different cast come through at different times, and then as like we had a break for a bit. But now, like, Kyle's really one of my good mates. Yeah. Like, we speak to each other all the time because he's just got married and he's got a little boy, and it's kind of the level where I'm at as well, with like and we live not far from each other, and he's got a business and stuff. But I'm really close with everyone. Like, well, I say everyone, majority. Because when I think of Geordie Shore, I think of certain people. That's why I think I'm saying that. But like out of the girls, like Charlotte, Sophie, that I'm still really, they're like my sisters. Holly as well. They're like, because I was living with them at such a young age, like.
You are like brother and sister.
We're like brother and sister, and I'd never had sisters before, and it was a bit strange at first because I think for the first couple of weeks I didn't really speak to them much and stuff because I was like, I didn't really understand it, like being like mates and that. I was just like, and we were just going out all the time and that, weren't we? But like I've got so much like love and. Like they are like family to us, but then people have come later on, like Nathan's, Chloe's, Aaron. They're all like
he's doing well with his fighting.
His nails, isn't he?
Yeah, see some of the fights he's in. I'm like, fucking hell, he's an hardcore.
He's absolutely nails. Do you know what? He always has been. Yeah. He always has been, and like.
Was it you or if I remember back to an episode, was it you or Gary that did end up having a fight
with Aaron?
Yeah. Or was it you and I can't remember.
I had a few bits with Gaz, but Gaz would have arguments with everyone. Like he'd had loads of fights with Scott, he had fights with Ricky, he had fights with, I don't know if he might have had one, but like he used to get like lose his rag a lot.
Right.
And do you know what, when you're in a house like that, like it's easy done.
Sure.
Yeah. And times then you didn't get as punished as you would now. Like if you want a TV show now and you swung for someone, you'd never go back on there ever again. Whereas back then it would be like a slap on the wrist, or you shouldn't have done that, like, or.
But then it makes the drama back then.
They'd give you a little fine or something. like dock you some pay or something. But yeah, there was always drama. There was always stuff going on, but it was just part of it.
Did you speak to Vicky much?
No, do you know what? I haven't seen her or spoke to her for quite a while. To be honest, she kind of set out in her head. I think her time in Geordie Shore wasn't as enjoyable for her.
Right.
And she kind of used it as a platform to then go on, because she'd done drama and different things. I think had always had this like vision of getting to different shows or presenting or something like that. So she used it for that. And when it got to a point where she went, I've had enough, she just totally disconnected from it. And it was never like personal, not with me anyway. Like if I bumped into her in the street, would be like, bloody hell, I haven't seen you in ages, she's all right. And it would be fine in that. Maybe it's a couple of the others that did fall out, or people took kind of her not wanting to be on the show as like a bit of an insult, but it was never like that. You understand it. She's done amazing. Look, she's on, what's she on? Strictly Come Dancing and that. So from Geordie Shore in a club to now Strictly Come Dancing, like when you look at the type of TV shows, MTV kind of like young party to Strictly Come Dancing, that's a massive range of viewers, isn't it? A lot of elderly and like I wouldn't say it was majority our age group or younger. It would be older probably, wouldn't it?
I would say so, definitely. It's just the you've just got to take what you can of, haven't you? Yeah. The opportunities out there, and I always say for me, if life's short, you've got to take everything while you can.
You do.
It's a finite amount of time you're on this planet.
Exactly, and if you get an opportunity, you would never want to look back and go, oh, I wish I had done that. Like, even if it doesn't turn out right, and you go, oh, well, I tried that, it wasn't for me. But that's better than, oh, I wish I had done that. Imagine, I was having this conversation with my grandma. I was like, because she's just turned 100 and she hasn't got long left. So I was like, do you want to do a bucket list, or is there anything like you want to see again one more time?
Yeah.
Or any food you want us to take you for? She went, no. She went, do you know what? She said, I've done everything in my life that I ever wanted to do. There's nothing that I feel I've missed out on, or anything that I wish I had done when I was younger. And for me, that made us go, God, that's a good place to be, isn't it? Not everyone will be able to sit there and go, do you know what? I'm going to die soon, but I'm really grateful for my life and the way it turned out and everything that I've done.
Yeah, I'm the same. I want to get to, I don't know, in the 85, 90, 95, 100 and look back at my life and think, I couldn't have done anything better.
Yeah.
There's no regrets. And I said this on the previous episode, still a bit jet lagged, slept rubbish the night before, slept rubbish last night, but was driving up to Newcastle like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock last night, knackered. And then I don't know why, but I always have, when I'm on long drives, if I'm going down to London or whatever,
start thinking.
I just get like thinking about all sorts of different crazy things. And I was thinking to myself, like, if somebody asked me today, if you had 6 months left to live, what would you do differently? I thought, I wouldn't do anything differently.
You wouldn't do no different.
There's nothing I would do differently. I'm so lucky and fortunate to be able to say this, but I love my life. I get to wake up every day with the freedom of choice to do whatever I want to do. Get to speak to amazing people like yourself, do this podcast in the hopes that people listening, it'll help them, do the motivational speaking. And, I honestly would look back and think, what else could I have done?
That's a good place to be. And I think for a lot of people, they can look at that as well, because I imagine, like what you mentioned about your brother and stuff, them dark times, they would have been really, really dark and hard. So you've managed to come through that and create this life that now you're absolutely loving to live every minute of every day of. So you're the proof, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's you can do absolutely anything that
you set your mind to,
that you want. It
is though. It's all mindset. It is literally mindset. And do not get me wrong. Like, losing Liam was horrific, but I have also had a very lucky and privileged life growing up. My dad started one of the businesses that I run now, which is school and office furniture, and he'd done really well. So, I didn't grow up in poverty. I didn't grow up in hard times. But I did still go through some significant trauma. And there is the argument to say, yes, I could have gone that way, but I didn't go that way. And I do say that, obviously, there is millions of people out there that have had much difficult and harder life than me and gone through a lot more trauma. But there is always still a choice.
Yeah, there is.
I think. And
Absolutely. I think everyone at some point goes through some really, really tough fucking times, whether that be early on or throughout, or some people, it mightn't happen to them until they get a bit older. And it's just, it's...
Yeah. I say this in my talk. So I talk about the night that I found my brother, and I say...
I can't even imagine what that felt like. Like,
it was horrific.
Yeah.
It was horrific, mate. Like, I would not wish that upon anybody. But if that would have not happened 10 years ago, I wouldn't be sat here right now talking to you. Life happens for you and not to you. For me, life is not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit, and you can keep moving forward. It's about the challenges, the traumas, the adversities that you go through, and you keep moving forward.
Yeah.
If you never quit, you never lose.
Exactly, yeah.
Never give up.
There's no better feeling as well. Like I've said, I've had some really, really tough times, and some lately as well. But when you start to see, like, how do I describe it? Like that bit of sunshine again, and like you start to feel like things are turning around and you're getting somewhere and good things start happening, it's like them wins then feel double big again,
100%.
especially if so you just got to keep going with it, man. You have so I hope like anyone who sees like the message and everything that you're doing, like they do realize that fucking you can get through it.
100%.
It's going to be hard. Yeah. But
life's not meant to be easy though.
Nah,
I think this is when I do a lot of these talks in schools, and obviously I speak to a lot of students as a result. And the common theme is that through social media we have instant gratification, instant validation. Everything is instant, click of a finger. So nothing really requires hard work anymore. So when kids actually go through, or students go through some form of adversity or a hard time, they crumble.
Yeah.
Because they're not
expecting it.
They're not learnt the ability that if you do the hard things in life, then your life will become easier. But if you always choose to do the easy thing, you scroll on TikTok, you doom scroll, you don't do the exercise, you don't get outside, then your life will become difficult, because when you're actually faced with a hard time, you don't have any resilience to deal with it. And that's why I think, you've got to see the hard times as the opportunity to become stronger and better and fitter, because the hard times in your life will make you who you are. They'll make you a stronger person.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree anymore, mate. Absolutely. Like, I think, especially since losing my dad, the courage and the strength that I found, I didn't know I had.
Yeah.
And it just totally changed the way I looked at everything. And I imagine there is a lot of people now, especially with the way social media is now, everyone paints out that it's like life's so easy. It's never been so easy. You can make 10 grand a month doing this course. You can make this, that. So everyone kind of expects that, don't they? And I probably was stuck in a bit of a phase where I thought, do you know what? All I was really thinking about was, what car do I want? I've got this vision board. I want this house. I want this watch. But then when you go through something like losing my dad, overnight, I just stopped thinking about any of that, because you realise, like,
what really
God,
matters.
I want to spend time I've got with people around us that I love, and we literally bring joy to each other's lives, and we like being around, rather than materialistic or impressing someone.
Yeah. What really matters to you then?
Yeah. At the minute, it's family. Yeah. Like, well, it's always been family, but like, there's nothing more important for me than family. Like, it doesn't matter what. Like, I will always put that first now. Yeah.
100%. I agree, mate. I think the time we just spent on holiday for my stepbrother's wedding, me, my brother, my sister, and my wife, we shared this little house on the seafront. Spent every day together. Not one argument, not one crossword. No. And with running the family business, there is a few disagreements here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, not one crossword. Me and my brother, we have had his differences in the past. We went to the gym every day together. And I just left like feeling so
good,
wholesome, and I just had the best time ever. And just to reiterate what you said, like family is everything.
It is, absolutely.
Just a quick one. Most of you watching this episode aren't yet subscribed. So if you want your weekly motivation from some incredible guests, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on.
I'm just going to finish with some quick fire questions.
No worries.
What's one thing that Geordie Shore taught you?
What's Geordie Shore taught us? That's a big question. What's it taught us? I feel like I found myself in Geordie Shore a lot because I went on it so young. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't know, like, this is going to sound stupid, right? I learned how to iron in Geordie Shore. Ironing my tops for a night out. Like, it kind of molded us into the person that I was. Like I could say something like daft about like the experience and stuff, but like I grew up on Geordie Shore. Like, I became a man when I was in that house with all of them crazy people. They were like my brothers and my sisters. So
I love that.
It was such a bizarre, like, when I think about it, it's such a bizarre, like, not many people will go through that experience that we did. We all went through it together, so I think we'll always have like a massive like place in our hearts for each other.
Love that. What's the biggest misconception people have about you from TV?
I think not as much anymore, but I used to get a lot of people going, "Oh, he absolutely loves himself, him," or he thinks he's meant him, or whatever. But I've never ever been that person. Like, if I walk into a room, sometimes I put my head down. Like, I hate all the eyes on us. It's going to sound mental because I'm on a TV show, but like, I've always done TV for other benefits, from obviously experience and like financially and stuff. Whereas I've never done it as I want all eyes on me. I want to be this superstar or this famous person. So like, people think, oh, they've done TV, they must love themselves and like they're that sort of person, whereas I'm just not.
I think, I take pride in my appearance,
Yeah.
my teeth done and whatever.
If you look after
If
yourself.
you look after yourself,
Yeah.
you love yourself.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like, I just want to be the best version of myself. I take pride in my appearance because that's the kind of person that I am.
And it makes you feel good.
Yeah, I take pride in
Doesn't it?
my appearance. I take
Yeah.
pride in my everyday work. I just take pride in everything that I do.
Yeah.
And it's how I carry myself. It's how I speak to people. It's how I make other people feel when they're around me.
Yeah.
And that's just my whole mantra. But you do get that misconception that if you look after yourself,
They think.
you think you're better than everyone.
Yeah.
There is that. It's a weird misconception.
But it's normally not the case.
No.
Do you know what? There might be some absolute knobheads about, but majority, it's probably is not.
Most
like,
of us are sound.
Yeah.
What's the hardest lesson that grief has taught you?
Hardest lesson of grief. It's mainly like, because as I said, my dynamic changed so much. I had to kind of figure things out again, and not having my dad there, who I relied on so much, and the whole family did, just like, it made us step up to other things. It made us more of a man. But I just think grief is such a hard thing to go through, and I think everyone's story is different of, say, what they're going through, or whether it's a shock, or whether they knew it was going to happen, or the circumstances always change. So there's no proper way to cope with grief. Some people get it later on. As I said, mine's been quite consistent. Like, I still struggle a bit with it now. Like, I'm still saddened by it, and most days I'll think about my dad and stuff. I think it's just, you have to just try and learn to live without them, rather than, I think you'll just learn every day. You'll learn that little bit more every single day. It's tough.
I'm sure your dad's looking back down and proud, man. I'm sure he's
Yeah,
proud of
exactly.
everything.
Do you know when I posted, like, because I put a thing on just when my dad passed, and I had so many people from the area that like we grew up in, and they'd be like, "Oh, we absolutely loved your dad." Just like people working on the tills and in the supermarket and stuff, like, he'd always speak so highly of you. He was so proud of you and stuff. And I was just like, fuck, yeah, mental, man. But
sounds like an amazing man.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? But people can't be around forever, can they?
Just got to make the good times last while they're here.
The times that you've got, exactly. Like, I am so like happy that I spent so much time with my dad. Like, I've got so many amazing memories that I'll always remember. there's not, I wish I had have done more of this. I wish I had have said this. Luckily that I did get that out. So I hope, like I say it to people all the time, like if they've still got the parents and stuff, like just say what you feel and make that effort. And yeah.
Yeah, I love that, Matt. The last question I'll ask you, so you were 19 when you first went to Geordie Shore.
Yeah.
If you could go back to 19-year-old James just before the first episode is going to be filmed, what would you say to him?
Do you know what? I don't think I would do anything different, you know. I actually don't. I'm proud of everything that I've done, and I'm really happy with how my life's turned out and kind of the journey it's been on. Like, there's been a lot of lessons I've learned in the time. Yes, I've had some absolutely unbelievable times. Like, I still think back to being with my mates at that 20-year-old, and I'd be like, come to this PA that I'm doing, and they'd all come with us, and we'd just get like, just stories and memories that we'll remember forever. Like, I know when I get married, the stag do and the best man speeches, the stories that are going to come out, I'm going to be like, well, I had a lot of good times. Like, so I wouldn't really change anything. And as I say, the hard times that I've had, I've really learned from it, and they've made us who I am today. So yeah, there's nothing that I look back and go, wish I had never done that, or I wish I had have done that, because I wouldn't be true to myself if I had have done anything different, because I was just always myself.